to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. We wish you a happy St. Paddy's Day, and we are celebrating the day with one of our favorite Irish movie stars, Cillian Murphy. Today we cover Sunshine. It was released on July 27th, 2007. It was written by Alex Garland, who you'll be familiar with via his work most recently on Civil War, as he wrote and directed that film, and directed by Danny Boyle. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you, and it's even better to be existing on a world where oxygen is in no short supply and the sun is shining in the sky at full power. How are you feeling about that?
Yes, I was out in the elements today. I was raking in the leaves. I feel like I have the elements within my throat and nose still, actually. But no, the sun was actually particularly beautiful today. I won't lie. Not, maybe metaphorically and because of the movie making me think, but also just very literally. The sun, more of the sunset, not the sunrise.
God, the sunset was fucking gorgeous tonight.
Yeah.
It was fucking beautiful. It was so pink and orange. I loved it. I loved it.
But movie-wise, though, no. It's crazy that this is so, I feel like, unknown, or at least me, I've been so...
Very underrated. Flies under the radar.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that I finally got around to it, because this is right up my alley. I don't know. This is, I feel more like with Pacific Rim, it's like, that's more cool and fuck yes and holy shit, what am I looking at? And then this is more of like, ooh, the human, connections, the I don't know, the different choices that can be made.
I think I think it's a fucking outstanding coincidence that this is the movie that comes straight off of AI and Pacific Rim, because we talked about how those are two different kinds of sci-fi movies. One we really love, another we really love, but they're very different kinds, and I feel like this kind of melds the kinds of sci-fi movies they are, and I adore that, and goes beyond that. I'm a big fan of Danny Boyle, the director of this film. He did Trainspotting, he did Slumdog Millionaire. Very, very well-established, talented director. And he did this right before he did Slumdog Millionaire. So definitely a precursor to one of his more critically acclaimed features. But, dude, gorgeous to look at. Like, I mean, kind of an insanely beautiful movie I don't know, you almost feel like movies that look like this would be... I don't know, movies that look like this, with this premise, with this cast, I don't know. It feels like this, I don't know why this didn't find its audience immediately in 2007. Like, why wasn't this a fucking hit? I can't really wrap my head around that.
Yeah, it kind of has a sort of, I don't know why Star Wars is popping in my mind. Maybe just like it's timeless. It kind of feels like, even though it is in the future, it kind of feels like retro-ish in some place, like not really.
What that is? You know what influence that is? Alien. Alien.
I mean,
there's so much Alien all over this movie, dude. Like, it's absurd how much Alien this movie has in it. Obviously, we take place in one place the entire movie. There's like this inciting event. They find the other shuttle versus they land on the planet and find that weird alien ship in Alien. It becomes a slasher at the end of the movie, which is very, very Alien. There's a final survivor. Obviously, the only thing that's different is that we go all the way with it in this one.
This I kind of, while the first two acts, before you kind of get to the slasher part, I was kind of like, oh, this is like Alien, just without the aliens. It's kind of just all of the human part, and then enter.
Dude.
What is it?
Pinbacker.
Yeah. Whoa.
Dude,
oh my God, Mark Strong just coming in. Just
my favorite part of the movie is when
think of his
Cillian Murphy is
performance.
sitting in that room
Mm.
and
Oh.
the computer goes,
Oh.
your life signs will not last till for the whole trip, and he's like, no, Cora was certain it's
Yeah.
absolutely gonna happen. She goes, no, not with 5 people on board.
Huh?
And he goes, no, there's 4 of us, and she goes, nope, 5.
Mhm.
And then he goes, no, there's 4 of us. She goes, 5 crew members. And he's like, he's like, Icarus,
Yeah. Like
Icarus,
oh.
who's the 5th crew member? Unknown. Where's the 5th crew member?
That's
In the
true.
observatory. Dude, like I've got chills talking about it because that tone shift in that moment fucking rips. Like I like they grow. The goosebumps grow on me as I talk about it more. Like it's incredible. I fucking like I watched this movie for the first time probably about a year ago. Maybe a little probably a year and a half ago actually, now that I think about it. This was my second viewing. And while I loved it the first time, I fucking love it now. Like a year and a half ago, I was like, this is a fantastic sci-fi film. Definitely one worth watching for everybody. Now I'm like, this is one of my favorite sci-fi films. I think it is so fucking cool. I think that it is so beautifully done. I think the score is incredible by John Murphy, who is doing Superman Legacy. Let's fucking ride.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What was there was like I don't like the noises the spacecraft. I wonder if that's probably not him. That's probably
probably
someone
sound
else.
design.
But at least there was a whenever there was like a moment of tension or just I don't know shit was getting real. I don't know. There like just that
like that flare.
Whatever that was going on. That was
it's almost classic, Hitchcock. The sort of vibe, it's not that, but it feels like that. It's approximating that.
It's getting the heart heart rate to elevate at least. It's doing the goal. It was working, and this.
Dude.
I mean, it just kept like building and building. Like it was, I had no clue where it was going. I mean, I had to assume something was probably going to go wrong. It's not going to be just a perfect mission and they blow up the sun and then boom, we're good.
Well, and they do the whole premise where it's like, well, and they're the second ones, and the first one inexplicably failed. Like all that stuff.
Yeah, so obviously something's gonna happen, but at first it was pretty tame. Like it was just kind of like, okay, there was a weird guy kind of looking at the sun a little bit too long, and he might be going a little bit insane, and then there's some interesting things going on, but nothing to in a fight between Kappa and what's Chris Evans' what's his character name? Mace, I guess.
Mace,
Mace,
yeah.
Kappa and Mace fight. There's like some stuff
Yeah,
going
there's
on.
tensions rising. Yeah, well, it's again very similar to Alien. You're getting a sense of the crew. Before they get picked off one by one or eliminated one by one. And let's circle back to the cast. We haven't made mention.
True.
Cillian Murphy obviously leading this film.
Boom.
And astonishingly, not really the highlight of it, I would say. For me, what's insane is that the highlight is Chris Evans in a cast like this.
I know.
That's fucking absurd. That's fucking insane.
What? Not Captain
The dude
America,
hasn't done
no.
work this interesting in a long time. The stretch he went on from 2007, he does Sunshine Here. He does, let's see, Captain America, The Avengers. He does Snowpiercer in 2013. Which is a great movie, a Bong Joon-ho movie that he led. Incredible. There's something in between there. Oh, he was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. The thing is that I feel like this is one of his first steps outside of his type. And the type he'd played at the time was a douche. Johnny Storm. Yeah. That was his vibe. That is what he did actually in the same year as this movie. That was also 2007,
Silver
Fantastic
Surfer.
Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Yeah.
There you go.
So like, the difference in those two roles, while still, he's still an asshole. He's still a little bit of a douchebag, but it's a different kind of douchebag. It's actually more Captain America than it is Johnny Storm, which is what's really, really fascinating. I think that there's a lot to love about Chris Evans' character and his performance. So I had to emphasize Chris Evans there. Michelle Yeoh is obviously Michelle Yeoh. We fucking love Michelle Yeoh. Hiroyuki Sanada is Hiroyuki Sanada. Let's fucking ride. And they both do really, really great work. I think that Hiroyuki Sanada, he's also playing to type, I would say. The wizened, seasoned vet who has been through it, and he's ready to put it all on the line for his squad. He is, and he's calm and collected about it. This guy doesn't fuck around. He's there. But Michelle Yeoh, she's almost, there's something you don't trust about her at times. Like she's the one who initially goes, "We won't all make it out of this. We need 3 people to die." And you're kind of like, oh. It's an interesting light to put Michelle Yeoh in, and I love it. I think it's great. It's just one you don't see her in a lot.
She loves her plants, though. She's the only one that truly cares for that room. And in the little, like, her being so happy with that little baby plant, and like, oh my God, when she died, I was like, what the fuck? I was just so pissed. I was just like, like at least it was kind of peaceful, and she didn't know what was coming at all.
And then
versus...
the way she rigor mortised. To be crisscrossed applesauce with it in her with it in her hands and stuff, like that's how her body stiffened. That's sick.
Oh my God. I initially I went with her as character, and I think I might still stick with it with her because I love the plant thing. I
do too.
And it was just the only kind of she did have that weird side, of like, hey, well, we're not going to make it for sure. We're going to run out of oxygen. But, there's like just they're truly logical, and they're on their mission, and they got it, and everything. And you have the super extreme side of, Chris Evans and let's see, who's I think
Searle.
Yeah. Sir, yeah, I guess he was the one like kind of going. Was he kind of crazy from the start, or did he slowly kind of get a little bit like more and more?
I don't.
He wasn't really crazy.
Specifically on specifically on rewatch. I think the most interesting way to view this movie, and I'm sure you. You obviously got this from the movie. You love space more than I do. Whenever they pass Mars, I think, or is it Venus? I can't remember which planet it is that they pass.
I think it might be Mercury.
Is it Mercury? Fuck me.
I think
one of the 4. One of the other 3. They're getting closer. That's right. It's Mercury. My bad. I was just like, what's near? But yeah, Mercury is the one they're past. Whenever they open the viewing room and they're all sitting there and they're all just like, oh.
Yep.
Like they're like, oh my God, like this is so special. Nobody's ever done this before. Like it's an incredible moment. But I think that's what's most interesting about Searle is that he is who would have he's what Pinbacker was, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. He like there's some sort of. I don't know.
You get closer and closer to the sun. There's sort of a divinity. Like there's like it is what gives us life. Like obviously there's a whole lot of other things that are required to give us life. We need oxygen. We need water. We need all that stuff. But if that sun goes out, we're fucked. Like we're cooked. So like.
And the whole "we all are stardust" thing. I think that is kind of some people see that as like. Oh, we're all just made up of the same shit and we're going to be recycled.
No,
but I see
there's
it more as like
beauty
a beauty. Yeah, it's like, holy shit. Like, like eventually I'll be a planet or a star or an asteroid or who knows in billions of years or whatever it happens to be. And like, and that he does at the beginning of the movie kind of say like, whenever he's like, I think it might have been his first time he tried, to do 30 seconds of 3 point whatever percent. And
0.03.
He's like, you guys got to try this. He's like, oh my God, like
it's like being bathed in it. Like he said, it's like being bathed in, like cleansed. Like it's the opposite of sensory deprivation. You're like, you are alive, more alive than you've ever been, and that's why like I loved Searle's character the second time around, and I thought that he was massively interesting.
His sacrifice too. Was very nice
beautiful. And fucking what's his fuck?
Yeah, Harvey.
You know who I'm talking about.
This guy that
Yeah.
take the suit off. Fucking.
It's supposed to be me. I'm second in command.
Order.
Oh, I see. You're gonna make sure that I stay behind because I made a big deal about it. And then Searle's like, "No, dickhead, I'm gonna do it. You fucking asshole." You know, like
Communications officer. Whenever the towers are fucking burnt off, everyone was like, "All right, dude. Yeah, we know it's not gonna be you." And wait, but at least he was the one that died during the little like exit, kind of shotgun maneuver there. Which was, I mean, that was
he
just
immediately
sick.
dies, which is hysterical.
The opening the eyes, and then his eyes froze, and then like the breath, the freezing of his lungs, and oh my god, that was gnarly.
Yeah, brutal. The way his arm shatters whenever he hits the communications tower and stuff like that.
Oh my god,
that's sick.
That was
no, that's why I'm like, there's just so much about this movie that is simultaneously sick as fuck. Scary as fuck at points too, like it really does kind of embody the space, which is fun. Like, that's cool as fuck, but that's also horrifying. Like the just vastness. There's nothing forever. Like that's incredible. That's incredibly cool, but it's incredibly scary. And I think that this movie embodies that spirit very, very cool.
It's so humbling,
but
I don't know. It's like it just reminds like just a big fireball in the middle of nowhere.
It's just the closest one. That's all.
Yeah, and it's small. Like actually, on the scales of
relatively,
it's puny. It's like actually it's very small and relative surprisingly, last semester I learned that it's actually very hard to hit the sun. It's actually way easier to like leave the solar system and actually to get to another star than it is to hit our own star. And it's like you have to just completely cancel out your speed. In like where from Earth, if we wanted to launch and hit the sun, you got to go 30 kilometers. Is it per second? Yeah, it's 30 kilometers a second. And that's like the fastest rocket we've built, I think, is like 16 or 18 right now. So
even
we gotta,
that's pretty fucking insane.
Yeah. And then you got to do that continuously all the way to the sun, and it only gets faster. Like you only have to continue canceling that speed out, and it gets faster and faster the closer and closer you get. So it's like I've always thought of like, why don't we just send our nuclear waste and throw it into the nuclear power, fusion plant of the sun, and then it's like, oh, it's actually like way more expensive.
Pretty much impossible to do that. Yeah.
We would need more nuclear power in order to do that in the first place. So I don't know. It's like but anyway, I don't know. It's like at least in this case, I'm not in this movie, I'm not like thinking of any of that and like, oh, the sun is dying or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, no, the sun's dying. They're heading towards it.
That was one of the things I was most interested in watching this movie with you as somebody who is studying this shit, essentially. Obviously, I have no frame of reference for how accurate any of it is. And I have major suspicions that most of it isn't.
No, they did pretty good. Like, I mean, it was.
No, that's what I'm like. But there's enough that I'm like, I feel like they also did a lot of stuff about as good as they could have, because as they also kind of back themselves up, or not back themselves up, but most of it's theory. Most of it's theoretical for them. They're like, we don't even know if this will work. Like
they had no clue. I mean, they were just dying. The Earth is frozen. It's like 2050 something or something like that, and it's like, the sun probably by 2050 isn't going to die out, but they said, I don't know what their reasoning was, but like
they said it. I think they said it inexplicably stopped working. Like it was like so there was no reason. It just fucking stopped.
And that was good enough for me. I don't know. And then Killian, he has that monologue at the beginning where it's like, my bomb. We're heading towards the sun with my bomb. And it's like, of course,
Cillian Murphy playing the physicist with the bomb. Yeah.
Who knew he made a way bigger fucking bomb before? I mean, probably the more impactful one was Oppenheimer. Not the science fiction one. But what even was this one for one? What the fuck? The
fact that it's like an entire they have an entire nuclear silo down there in this ship.
Yeah. And the cube room, or like that, like
Oh, dude, the way the gravity shifts and stuff and
Whoa.
Rose fucking
Oh.
Byrne, by the
Yeah.
way. That's the
Yeah.
other woman I wanted to
True.
touch on because I fucking love her. You know, I've loved her since, oh,
Mm-hmm.
geez. I don't know how long I mean, she was in Attack of the Clones. I don't think I loved her because of Attack of the Clones. She's one of Padme's handmaidens.
What do I
But
know her from? Okay,
she was in
X-Men
Neighbors. She was in
Apocalypse.
X
I don't
Men.
know
Yeah,
about
Moira. She
that.
was Moira
Maybe, yeah.
McTaggart. Yeah, she was Moira
Oh
McTaggart.
yeah,
She was
First
in Neighbors.
Class.
Um,
Um,
yeah, she's been around the block. She's been in plenty of stuff, and she's incredible. And I love her
mhm.
in this. She is probably my character. Um,
Mm. Yeah,
she's just so.
same dream she has every night. Yeah, or
Yeah,
ooh.
yeah, and she's intensely human, you know, like all the and everybody is. Don't get me wrong; they all have their flaws and stuff, but she's empathetic in a way that the other crew members have kind of trained themselves not to be. She's the
Yeah.
one who has the most hang-ups with everything, you know, leaving them out. Whenever they find Benedict Wong, by the way, his body.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, she's the only one.
Yeah, we
who...
got a little Wong. She cries. I think she's the only person in this movie who fucking cries. Besides Michelle Yeoh when her plants die.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, she. That was even a worse cry, which is crazy because the cry that Rose Byrne has is they're debating on killing Benedict Wong. They're like shoot. Well, I mean, it seems like the most logical thing to do, and she's the only one that's like, no. She's like, actually, I can't give that to you. And then Chris Evans just stands up and he's like, sorry.
You don't
and I
have
thought,
to. I'm gonna do it.
I thought for a second that he was gonna kill her. I'm like, I'm like, for a split second, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, he is
Like,
kind of
wait a
crazy enough
second.
to, but that no. I'm glad that didn't happen. And then as he's walking up there, I'm like, oh, how's he gonna do it? I'm like, that is terrible. Like, but he seemed like he was on the mission, and then boom.
No, he was
the
ready.
twist of
And
that
also
was crazy.
interesting, whenever he opens the drawer for the knife, there's one already missing.
Yeah, I had no clue. Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have been made aware. Oh, no, it really was a suicide. I was thinking if it was maybe Pinbacker.
No,
that,
he
framed
actually
it up.
offed himself.
No. Yeah,
which
I mean,
is,
like
which is a
the
shame.
blood splatter and like it's like,
yeah.
I mean,
No, he definitely did that shit.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but like as Mace puts it, I believe none of us will be surprised that he's on suicide watch.
Yeah. Yep. No one's gonna go against that order, or no one's gonna go against that diagnosis, or something like that. Yeah,
because I mean, like he makes, dude, that mistake. That's a pretty massive one.
Yeesh.
I mean, dude, that's your.
Like, I mean, and the decision was made anyways. Like what he wanted to do was going to happen if he just waited a little bit longer, and it would have happened safely, because it would have been the whole team, and they probably, hopefully, someone would have been like, "Oh, wait a minute, if we won't have the shield at the right angle," or whatever it was, and that, oh my god, the shield, and then just like whenever what's it Kaneda, or is it is it Kaneda?
Kaneda.
Is it Kaneda? Yeah, Kaneda and Kappa are up there, and Kaneda just knows. I feel like this dude, he's just okay with dying. I think he knows. Like, I don't know. He's just accepted his fate. But
my man is the antithesis of Pinbacker. We talked about how Searle is kind of what Pinbacker becomes.
Okay. Yeah.
Or Searle, it could have become Pinbacker if he was in Kaneda's position, I think, is kind of how I look at it. But Kaneda is the one who's able to go, I will sacrifice myself for my team to complete the mission. Like I'm not going to make it back. And there's that that's the scientist in him that's like, I gotta know. When Searle's like on the intercom with him, he's like, what do you see? What do you see? What is it? Like, dude, that's a fucking moment right there, dude. That's why, like, I think that this movie's just chock full of stuff that, like, on first watch is already fucking impeccable. But dude, the twist even still gave me chills when I rewatched it.
Crazy. It was like, because I'm like, how can it get crazy? Like, everyone's dying off, is it really just going to be like one person left, or like they don't even complete the mission, whatever.
It becomes a fucking slasher film.
Yeah. And I didn't even think, like, with the spacesuits at first, looking real kind of 2001-esque
for
to
sure.
me, but just kind of gold studded out, which was sick. But But the
I actually almost threw that on after I finished this movie. 2001.
You have one, yeah, in the closet. You got one of those on standby. Yeah, I mean,
I meant the movie.
oh, okay. I thought okay, I thought you meant the suit. Yeah, okay, no, that makes a lot more sense.
I almost threw on my gold-studded astronaut suit.
I didn't know you were that big of a Sunshine fan.
I almost threw on 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah.
I see. Okay, because I mean, yeah, it kind of felt 2001-esque, you know.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. You got Icarus speaking to them and stuff, and at points because of 2001, you've been made to be suspicious of every single AI ship there is. Even with like Mothership and Alien, also kind of like being like, sorry, I listened to the corporation.
Yep. Type shit, yeah, but no, this one's just AI. It's just computer. It's just and it needs to be cold. Just needs to be dipped in that coolant, and oh my god, yeah, that's a way to go. In there,
I wish he would I almost wish he would have drowned, dude. Like,
yeah, I feel like just diving in, it might be better at that point.
Well, and he also would have it sucks that he got caught on his way out. Like,
man,
him being caught on his way out is what makes the computer not work.
Damn, that's true. Yeah, I guess it functioned at enough capacity, you know.
Yeah,
it did what it needed to do, but not, man. Yeah, that was rough. I mean, and I honestly, good on him to get to what, 4 barrels or 3 barrels?
Dude, 3. He got to the third one.
Damn, like, I mean, that's just. I think just straight willpower, and I think at that last
that's
one,
why he's the character. Like, that's why he's amongst the best characters in the movie. He might be character.
I might, yeah.
As
Michelle
far as
Yeoh because it's Michelle Yeoh, but man, he was actually really just interesting morally. Like, he was so focused on the mission and was so.
And that's the thing, is that he seems like an asshole, but he's protecting everybody on Earth the entire movie, which is like why
literally
you gotta give it to him. You know, like whenever he's like, whenever Rose Byrne is like, come back. Do this, and Chris Evans goes, no, don't do that, and she's like, why? And he goes, Captain, back me up on this one. There's no other choice. Like, we're like, he's going to die. That is what's going to happen. It's brutal, but it's something that has to be done. And I think that that's what makes him massively interesting and deeply compelling, and they also show he has a great deal of humanity in the moments where he is an asshole, like whenever Kappa takes up an hour sending his message. I'd be fucking pissed too.
Yeah,
dude,
true.
I wanted to send my last message. I didn't get to say goodbye to my family. We're probably going to fucking die out here.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. I mean, valid fight, but I loved. Was that the fight that gave the cat? I mean, it was my line in the movie. I thought it was hilarious whenever she says, "We have an excess of manliness in the comm center right now."
That is.
Just after their fight, I don't know. It was the only time
and whenever he whenever Chris Evans swipes the blood and puts it on his hands, and they fight, and Michelle Yeoh and Rose Byrne just kind of stand there with their arms crossed, like, Jesus,
they're like, all right,
Christ,
here we go again.
They walk away, and she goes, "Yeah, we've got limited oxygen supply. Maybe you don't exert yourself so much."
Damn, yes, that's right. Oh my god, yeah. And who knows, maybe that's no, I mean, they were already there was 5 people on board. That was really the oxygen, stealing. But man, he was kind of on board for longer than I thought. He would have been on board ever since the separation happened, or no, yeah, I guess that's not as long as I thought.
I mean, he came on board, he snuck on board while they were on Icarus 1. Because he's the one who sabotages the docking bay.
Yeah.
He's the reason it doesn't work anymore, because he's already destroyed it. Dude, speaking of, when they're boarding the Icarus 1 and we get those flashes, oh my god, I fucking love that part of the movie.
I thought I'm like, wait, is my TV fucking up? At like the first one, I'm like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, wait a minute, because it was just. So I didn't recognize it was a face. I thought it was just I thought it was like a Brad Pitt.
It's the picture. It's the crew members in their group photo.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Dude.
Oh.
And it's harrowing. the first one that pops, it like scared me the first time I watched it. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck was that?" And then another one does, and another one does, and you like
it's always when
anytime
a
you get
flashlight
those like
hits the screen too. It's always whenever it's like so bright. Whenever you're looking directly into the light, like they all did, you know. I mean I'm assuming, well, because they had a lot of plant growth, so like they had oxygen, which was interesting.
they
And
didn't have to do this. That's
Yeah.
part of the point of Icarus
they
1.
all
They
did it.
They
Like-
well, and that's the thing is like, did Pinbacker? I don't know what Pinbacker did to make them do that, or if he had to make them do that. Like, there's no evidence. You know, he has his little monologue where he talks about how like we should not stand up to God if he says it's time to die and all that stuff. But like, did his whole fucking crew agree with that? You'd think there'd be a fucking mutiny. You know, like maybe let's just kill Pinbacker and get done with our goddamn mission.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're all sitting there, I don't know.
They were
I
like
think they all
hugging
just kind
each
of
other. It
agreed on
seems
it.
that they were
Yeah.
kind of like in each other's
Ready
arms.
for it.
Which maybe they didn't know it was coming, and Pinbacker just swiped the. Is that room they were in? Yeah, that's the one that you can like change the percentage and everything. Like,
Yeah. No, they let the viewport open up. You know, like that's
Yeah.
what they did. They were like, go 100% roast my shit.
Oh my god! But then leave him alive, and he just fucking does push-ups in front of the sun and stares and talks to God. I mean, for 7 years, was it? Like that's what he says. He's like, it's been 7 years that I've been talking to God. Yeah, I switched my performance to Mark Strong for sure. I didn't think about him. But like,
Dude, he's so good.
Yeah, and a lot of it you can't really see the physical performance a lot of the times because it's
but
he's
even
just kind
so,
of not
well,
even really there. He's kind of like
I love the visual language with him. The way that it's kind of blurred and shaky. I love that. But dude, there's a shot when Rose Byrne is hiding from him that I fucking love. And I have no idea how to pick a shot. Like I'm actually not going to pick a shot because I don't know how to. But one of my favorite images is him standing in one of the rooms, and he is just trimmed by light, while Rose Byrne is at the end of the hallway, like with her back, and she's like right against the corner. Like, dude, oh my god, that's gorgeous. And that's the thing is that the way that the movie is able to shift from this like really extravagant sci-fi space journey in terms of its visual language, like the images of Cillian Murphy and them jumping between ships and stuff, and the sun outside and all that stuff, and then the close quarters horror of those moments, and it being shot like there's a shot of Rose Byrne where her like right eye is lit up, and that's all you really see, even though she's like her whole face is in frame. But the lighting is specifically over her right eye as she's like freaking out. Like that's the good shit right there. His
viewing.
arm peeling off, like Jesus fucking Christ.
Ooh, that was that was not much gore. Even though a lot of people died gruesome. Well, I don't know. Even Chris Evans' death, it wasn't like that gory, or he just froze.
No, it's not
in
gory. There's
space
blood,
or
but it's
blew
not
up,
gore.
and- yeah, that one was the first one where it was like, oh, okay, the movie definitely entered that new era though, or the new, we're in horror mode, and I never thought of the slits in the suits. I thought at first, I'm like, oh yeah, they're, if they happen to look at the sun, I don't know, it's gotta, you can't really let any light through at all probably, so it's gotta be a small ass window. But then whenever it turns horror mode, I'm like, oh god, that first person view shot of Kappa in helmet, of like whenever it's just dark and then through that little itty bitty slit, and I'm like like that's the, I don't know, whenever I should be getting an adrenaline boost but I physically can't,
you don't.
I don't know it, but I love that feeling. It's like I still chase it, and I don't know, I don't know, it's still there, even though maybe it's not chemically happening. I feel like it's mentally happening. I'm placeboing it enough. But no, it's I don't know. I love.
Well, it's
the
not
horror
like you
twist.
can't experience surprise. You know, like there's not a there might not be a chemical reaction that gets your fucking blood rushing or anything, but you do go, whoa, like didn't see that coming. Like that's but like even the anticipation of it, like there's just God, I do love this movie, man. I think that there's funny enough, I started this movie at like 9 yesterday, I think, 9 p.m. last night, and Emily didn't have work today. She's going out of town this weekend. She left earlier today. She was like, all right, I'm gonna take a quick 15-minute nap. Wake me up in 15 minutes. Da 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 da. Whatever. And I started the movie, and then it was over.
Yep. Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. Hey, M. I was like, hey, M. Do you want to wake up? She was like, no. But yeah, like that was the thing, is that like I just let it ride. I didn't move. I didn't get up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get up. I didn't pause to pee. There was like nothing happened besides me seared to the screen, and then the movie's credits rolled, which an incredible moment, by the way.
Yeah.
When the light just overcomes everything, and then cut to credits. Sick as fuck. 2000s. A late 2000s ass credit song, by the way. Wonderful. Love that.
True. Yeah. But no,
dude,
I mean,
yeah,
I
but
wonder how meta it is of us looking at the TV, just staring at it
right.
the whole time for 2 hours
and
straight,
it slowly comes it slowly comes at you at the end. Like, that's sick.
Dude.
And the idea that, by the way, the sun is working at like half the capacity, and it's still roasting motherfuckers.
Yep.
Obviously, it's still very, very hot. It's a giant ball of fire. But like, would they be able to view? They would not be able to view the sun at 3% capacity even for 30 seconds at that power. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's the scale of this shit. I don't know. It's just it's so scary, but also like, I don't know. It's like it comes up every day. It's there all the time and burning just as bright. And I like I recently, I don't know when the switch really was, but whenever like I feel the sun against my skin and just take that breath in, and it just is it is very, very nice. I don't know. It is nice. And yeah, I bet if headed on a mission straight to the sun, I bet you do go a little bit crazy. I mean, there's no way, like, They know there's a return trip planned, but like, you're heading to the sun,
Yeah,
like,
not, and you're on a ship called the Icarus, bro.
That's true.
Talk about doomed by the narrative,
dude. Why? What, is that the name you really want to go with? I don't.
I'd rather it be called Prometheus, like in Alien, but like that's not the first Alien. It's Alien Prometheus, but like steal fire from the gods, make it the sun. Like you are imbuing, but like Icarus, it's like, yeah, you're gonna fucking die out there, dude. Like you're flying a bit too close, aren't you? Because even then, it's theoretical that they'll be able to like blast off. Like they're just kind of like, we hope that's how it goes.
Yeah, say like the sun's operating at half capacity, I guess. Whenever they turn it back on, is there any chance they just like get fucking fried anyways? It's like,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, are there shields designed for that?
I mean, like it seems that they were taking some fucking. I mean, I don't know. Like they were stopping it, for sure. But it seems like it wasn't like at some point they kind of were. They had to be perfectly lined up for one, and if not, then you could just burn a hole or a line through a room or anywhere. And then, like, I don't know, it feels like the sun was just beaming on it, like, just hard as shit. Yeah, I feel like if it were to turn back on,
they make that, and the sound design and everything in those moments whenever they show the shields working, where it's like searing outside. Oh God, that's so cool. I love that.
Gong.
Just that.
It's like just a huge gong made up of smaller gongs that all make one bigger. I don't know. Yeah, it was the ship design was really, really cool. And I mean, I have no clue how to actually make a ship to go to the sun, but I feel like, I mean, I didn't think
if you're gonna, it's got to be some
sun
shit like
shield
this.
That you need.
Yeah.
You need a sun shield, and it kind of reminded me of whenever in Pacific Rim when they were building the wall, just kind of, or all the like scaffolding and stuff. Like there was like the framework whenever it showed the in between the like shield and whenever they were kind of going over the edge. It kind of showed like the structure of it all, and then I that's when it hit me of like, oh my God, like how is this built? Like, was this on Earth and then launched, or was this? It had to have been built in space, or like, does it?
Yeah, true.
So I mean, yeah, that's a big boy, and if you can launch that from Earth, then you got even bigger rockets, and that's the rocket. I mean, I want to see that if they do have it, but I think that's why it's
God
kind of.
damn. Yeah, no, they had to have built this in space.
Yeah,
I didn't even think
and
of that. That's sick.
yeah, and to
They're on some
that
Death Star shit out there.
that's just cool. To how 2057 are we gonna be building shit in space by then? I mean we're
I actually
I
wouldn't
feel
be
like
surprised.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's not that out there. Like,
No,
automate.
I don't
Like,
think
I don't
that
think
is either.
humans like welding shit. No, I feel like it's gonna be robotics or drones
Yeah.
and stuff doing everything. But I feel like I don't know. Yeah, 20. I hope we don't need to relight our sun by 2050. I really want to get the year. 2057. Okay, it is seven. I feel like I've just been saying 2050 something.
There's a lot of sevens here. It was
but
released on July 27th, 2007, which, if you're doing the math, is
okay.
7272007. Set in 2057.
Okay.
There's tons of sevens around here.
Empire. Weird. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, that's I don't
What's
know.
the
Automatic
connection?
space.
We'll find it.
Automatic space. To build this, they built. This was the thing they built to light the planet. Yeah, to get their planet back on, and then they eventually go to build a Death Star because
Yeah.
they have the ability to build in space, and then this is just the precursor, I guess.
No doubt, no doubt,
Yeah,
no doubt.
I,
For
yeah.
sure.
No, there's no connection to Star Wars.
Yeah.
I can't find anything. That was not good enough. But no connection needed, I guess. There's no actor.
No, not at all.
Let's see.
Not at all.
I guess Rose Byrne was, she's a handmaiden.
Yeah, Rose Byrne was in
Padme.
Attack of the
Is there
Clones
anyone
for
else?
sure.
Anyone
Hiroyuki
else?
Sanada could be a pretty sick ass Jedi. By the way, I would love to see
oh my
Hiroyuki
God.
Sanada in a Jedi role.
How has that not happened? Actually, that's kind of like
No, kind of crazy. I would love to know if he was considered for like Qui-Gon or anything like that. Like that was the sort of I feel like that was the era he would have been interested in. I mean, like, or even considered to join the Star Wars universe. But like even then, I mean, who knows? But
yeah. I don't know. I like this. He, specifically him, his kind of aura that he gives off. I thought that he wouldn't have died. Like just his name.
no, yeah, and he's
whenever
the first.
yeah, which was kind of like, oh my God. I'm like, oh shit. Like, no way, he is for sure dying here. And I'm like, I thought, there's gonna be some last
God,
second
that's a beautiful
save or
moment too.
something,
The way it like rolls over him like waves, dude.
Oh my God. I mean, it felt like at least, whenever Kappa, it happens to him, he is like inside of the payload or whatever it is.
I
So,
also think
but
his is kind of dramatized. Like there's a
yeah, like the last moment that he was alive, sort of thing. He was
it's kind
in
of
that
yeah,
moment
and it kind of
forever.
stretches for him. Yeah, like there's a like he reaches out and touches it and stuff,
Yeah.
and like I think that there's a little bit like I think they're showing us what the others experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like when Searle died or when Kaneda died, this is like what they perceived to be happening.
Yeah,
Kind of the
maybe
way
you
Searle says
don't
you're like
die.
baptized in
Who
fire,
knows?
like
I
yeah,
don't know.
maybe you get enveloped and you become the sun.
I mean, it is only millions of degrees hot, and like
That's it.
we like it. Like whenever it's 115, that's like that's when we start dying, or like 120. I don't know. It's like you start your, I don't know. You can't be.
Yeah,
outside
you
for
hear
too
them
long.
like scream and shit in this movie, and
That's
I'm like,
true.
I don't even think that would happen.
Yeah. It's just kind of you once it's
You
it's
just fucking
it's
melt, dude.
instantaneous, fried. You are.
I got to imagine,
fried.
like you hear both Searle. I think you hear Searle and Kaneda like scream when they die, and it's very brief. Like it's not long, but they have enough to scream. I don't buy
true.
that even.
something,
I think it would be. I think it would just be like you get exposed to that and you're fucked, dude. Like that's
There was
maybe
a
in the
Vsauce
gold
video,
suit.
I think, or someone did it where like if you were teleported into space, just instantly with no suit or anything, the front of your body would instantly boil, and then the back of your body that was facing, or like the part of you that's facing the sun or the star, would boil, and then the back of you would freeze. So you actually just spontaneously combust. It is like you just
Right.
you just can't handle it, and then the pressure as well. Your lungs, just collapse.
Yeah, whole other
and so,
ball game there.
Yeah, I mean, like it would just be a boom. Yeah, but man, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, what the fuck? Why is it so brutal? Like, it's the interstellar line of whenever one of the scientists is like, I can't get it. I mean, I can't think about a coop. It's the 4 or 20 millimeters of metal in between us, and then nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, but yeah, I mean, that's it's a whole different thing of like the ocean, because like if you fall in, at least you can swim and maybe get back to your ship. But like if you fall out of your spaceship, I mean, you hopefully you got a spacesuit on for one, and then two.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I fall out of my spaceship, I hope I don't have a suit on, low key. Like I don't want to be floating out there like that, bro.
Yeah,
like
'cause
I
then you
think
gotta
that
take
would
the
be
helmet
scarier
off. Then
than
you gotta
spontaneously
do it
combusting.
yourself. Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah, no, oh no.
That's the premise of the movie Gravity, the Sandra Bullock movie. Did you ever watch that?
No, I actually have never seen that, which is kind of nuts.
I haven't seen it in like 10 years. So
She's
I don't
just
remember
out
if that's
there.
exactly the premise.
Oh.
I don't remember if that's exactly the premise. But yeah, she's just out there. She's just out there in a suit.
God. But like, does she know that someone's coming, or like just?
Mm-mm.
Oh no! Oh,
Yeah.
that would suck.
That's why I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's-
I don't even really remember what the movie's about. I think at the time it kind of bored me. I bet I'd like it a lot more now. But like,
yeah.
I remember because I also watched it at a friend's house, and it was kind of one of those movies where it was like, why are we watching this? What the fuck? Shouldn't we be watching something funny? I'm like 14, like what are we doing here? But yeah, as far as I recall, she's just in space. I don't even remember how it's resolved. I don't remember what the circumstances are. She's just floating out there, bro.
Damn. I remember, I mean, there was a lot of talk about the movie. Or at least I remember hearing.
Yeah, it was a
lot
very
about it.
popular Oscar pick. I'm pretty sure Alfonso Cuarón got some love for that. I think Sandra Bullock might have even pulled down an Oscar for it. I don't remember, but
Wow. Yeah, the synopsis it doesn't really do much to help. It just says they're have to survive in space after they're hit by debris while spacewalking. So yeah, I guess
All right, there you go.
They are just floating out there. They do be, but no, this I guess whenever you said like you didn't really enjoy it, but you would now. I think this movie, like I watched at kind of the perfect time. I feel like this I don't know if I would have enjoyed it when I was younger necessarily, for all like the kind of decisions that are made and the moral quandaries and all of that sort of thing. And I mean, I've always loved space and sci-fi and stuff. So I mean, I don't know. I probably would have had something going for it. But this was, I don't know. It was firing on all cylinders for me, like on this.
This is
watch.
always funny. Sorry, I know we're talking about Sunshine, but now I'm off on this Gravity search. Got nominated for 10 Academy Awards and won 7.
Damn.
It
Shit.
won in cinematography, it won direction, it won editing, it won score, it won sound editing and sound mixing, and it won best VFX.
Maybe
But the
that's
thing
why I
it got
heard.
nominated for, one of the things that it got nominated for that it didn't win was best picture, which is like, when you win all those other things, how the fuck are you not winning best picture?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just kind of how I feel about it. But like, it also got nominated for best actress with Sandra Bullock, she did not win, and best production design, which it did not win.
And that was 2013. Was Gravity
13, yeah.
I wonder what did win Best Picture in
Probably-
2013. Argo, or would have been 2012, or would have been Best Picture 20.
It would have been it actually would have been
Or
the
14.
2014
Yes,
Oscars.
Oscars. 12 Years a Slave.
Okay. That makes
was
sense.
2014.
That was a pretty big deal.
So,
yeah, 12 Years a Slave. The Wolf of Wall Street was that year too. That was another biggie. Who won Best Actress? Cate Blanchett. Can't really complain there.
Damn.
But yeah, this didn't get nominated for shit. This didn't get nominated for anything, which is kind of crazy. Again, Pacific Rim didn't get the VFX nod. I got to kind of question why this didn't get a VFX nod. Like, what are we cooking with? How?
It's got the Irish Film and Television Award. Cillian Murphy won Best Actor in a Leading Role in a Feature Film in Ireland.
Let's
I mean,
fucking go, baby. That's all that matters. For the St. Patty's Day episode, that is all that fucking matters, dude.
Damn.
Oh, that makes me so
It would have
happy.
been nice, if we had a Kansas City Film Critics Circle Award or something.
Nah, we're pretentious as shit.
The British got some. There was a Las Vegas Critics
fuck
Society.
the British.
It got 10th place Best Picture in 2007. So not even really an award. Well,
in Vegas,
10th place. That's not bad.
Yeah, out of all the movies, 10th ain't bad. I'll take it.
That's a nomination. That's an Oscar nomination. So I mean, not bad. The Empire Awards. That's kind of eerie name. I don't know. UK.
Empire's a magazine.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And then the Scream Awards, wherever that happens to be.
Pretty sure that's a horror movie award thing.
Yeah. It was only nominated. Didn't win anything there, which seems to be a common trend on all of the.
Yeah, it was nominated at the Saturn Film Awards. I'm pretty sure for best sci-fi film.
That's fitting.
Which is a sci-fi award show, so that's a pretty cool little tidbit.
But I mean, come on, why isn't? I mean, it's not. This isn't Casablanca. It's not. I'm not.
No, but I do think it's aging really, really well, like exceptionally well. I'd be willing to bet that if this came out now, it would probably get some sort of acclaim. Does help that now in the last 2 years it has a Best Actress and a Best Actor winner. It has the lead from the best show on TV in Hiroyuki Sanada. Obviously the last couple years have been really, really kind to some of the people in this.
It's I don't know. They were chosen. They walked the path.
Walked the path.
That's actually What If. That was not Sunshine. I was watching What If recently, and Peggy Carter gets told by Storm, that's also Thor, that you just have to. We're warriors. You have to walk the path.
She's basically already Thor. What are we cooking? No,
I know, but she goes hard as Storm Thor, Thor Storm. Thorm. Yep. That's
Thorm.
But yeah, no. These, I don't know, a kind of a weird balance of like, you want people who don't really have humanity to go on this mission a little bit, but at the same time, it's like the people who do have humanity that are like, no, we're saving millions back on home. So it's like this weird kind of back and forth of like, and I love that you kind of have every different kind of humanity on the ship. You have like Chris Evans and kind of I don't know if anyone else is truly like him. I mean, there's kind of like,
Kaneda is kind of like him,
or like sort of in that vein, but like he's just, I don't know, he's boom, like he's made up. I guess more.
He's brutally honest about it, he doesn't have tact. He doesn't have the sort of diplomatic approach that Kaneda does. Kaneda can soften the blow. Mace is kind of like, yeah, you're gonna fucking die out there, bud. That's kind of what he does. But. I love the moment whenever they tell Cillian Murphy that the decision of whether or not they go check on the Icarus One is up to him, and he goes, "Shit," that's not a decision you want to have to make. He'd rather that Kaneda had to make that decision, and like he'd just be okay with it. He's like, two best shots are better than one last shot. It's just
fair
principle.
Enough. I mean, they only needed the one, I guess. They.
Because they did end up only needing the one, which is funny.
Whatever.
It's funny how simple this mission could have been.
That's true. They actually could have just done it, but they didn't. They didn't know. We know.
Well, and they also. I also love the way, I think it was Searle who put it, like it's risk assessment. Do we go down there? Are the potential detractments enough to keep us from having a second payload? And when the answer is like obviously no, like if we can have a second, that's great. You gotta go. A small
little detour. It wasn't. It was just Wong. Come on, dude.
1.1 degrees.
Dude, come on. You calculated all the you got the trajectory right, but then you forgot to rotate the damn shields, man. Come on.
Whenever Kaneda fixes the first panel. And he's like, yeah, we're going to be able to fix the others. Like in the relief that comes over everybody, they celebrate and stuff. Do you know what Chris Evans says to Wong?
Oh. Oh
He
no, I
goes,
don't remember.
"Don't kill yourself, man."
No. Oh, he does. That's right. He does. Oh my God.
He goes, "Don't
Oh
kill yourself, man.
no.
We've got this."
Oh no. He is so brutally honest. He's like, yeah, dude, I knew you were gonna kill yourself before, but now that it's like actually okay, all right, you're
Yeah,
good.
no, he's like,
Like,
"Don't kill yourself, man. We're good." Like, and
and then
it's kind of like,
Pineda
"Don't kill
dies.
yourself over this." Don't be too
Hmm.
hard on yourself. But the way he puts it is, "Don't kill yourself, man." Which is just brutal considering ultimately he does.
Yeah.
But
Pineda
yeah, man.
dying, that really sealed the deal there. I mean, that was like, okay.
Oh yeah,
Well,
he was like,
now
"All right, well,
my mistake.
and they were like,
Yeah.
"Let's sedate this guy ASAP."
Yeah, and even that wasn't enough. He only was functioning an hour of the day, and bro, I mean, they left him unattended.
He
I
made
mean,
the most of that time.
Yeah, yeah, he
Probably
really
didn't
did.
even need all that time.
No. Yeah, at least he went. In
No,
the,
he
like,
got out of
little
bed
sentry
and checked what
room.
everybody was up to. You got that little cut to him for a second whenever everybody's doing shit, and he's like,
Yeah.
"All right, now's my chance."
Yeah.
He's like, and he went to the Earth room to do it, which is also just sad. He's like got the bird flying around him and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's
The birds.
man,
Goddamn
it's really sad. I know we're
birds.
making light of it, but dude, that is a really really tough moment of the movie.
Yeah, that's it's not it's another switch. I mean it just keeps building and building. It isn't quite the there's another passenger on board, This one's kind of like, well, you knew it was
No,
probably
yeah, but they're
coming,
like they were going to
but-
kill him, and then
Yeah.
like they like didn't have to kill him.
Oh. And
So it's
then,
kind of like
yeah.
a relief, but it's also like, damn, dog.
Mhm.
And the way that Chris Evans presents that information to them, everybody come here.
Yeah.
And then they all run, and the guy's fucking dead with slit wrists. I don't know. I'd kind of be like, dude, why the fuck did you say it like that?
Yeah, that's true. He made them like run to get there, which is like weird.
Yeah, he was like, it's urgent. Everybody get here now.
Yeah, it should have been like, oh, guys, get up here, or like, yeah, why was it like, yeah?
He almost made it seem
like-
like there was like a fight or something, and I need
Yeah.
help, but like he could have been like, all right, he was already dead when I got here, guys. Trigger warning. This guy's got slit wrists. Come on up,
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, because they ran in and they had no idea what to expect, and then
They ran in and they were like,
Yeah.
like it's I don't want to see that. If I don't have to see that, I don't want to see that. But that's the thing is he was doing it as theatrics for his little thing with Kappa. He wanted to be like, see, you did this
yep.
shit.
Yep. This blood is on your hand. That was sick. That was kind of like
Yeah, pretty brutal. Pretty brutal.
little mic
And
drop.
also pretty unfair. Like I understand that it is
Yeah.
technically up to him, but like, bro, come on now.
Yeah, it's kind of I mean, I guess Mace, was a proponent of no. I think he was like, let's go on the mission. The answer is obviously no. We don't need to save them.
See, but he did say that prior to Searle's point of a second payload.
That's true.
He never actually goes, we shouldn't do that after Searle makes that point. Maybe he does. Maybe he does go, I still don't think it's worth it, or something like that. But I do think that and obviously hindsight's 2020. They obviously do not need the second payload. But I'll also say, if the first one doesn't work, what makes you think a second one would? Maybe they
Yeah.
should have thought that.
That's true. And Icarus one's a lot smaller, too.
Yeah.
Like it. I don't know. It was just a little. It looks like they really beefed up the second one. They're like, oh damn. Well, this one didn't work.
But they
really,
were like
really
the
need this
unknown
one.
part was math. It was just like we don't even know if it'll make it to the surface. So like if the
Yeah.
first one doesn't, maybe the second one can make it through. Like I guess
Damn.
there's enough unknowns that it's like maybe a second one would work. We don't have any way of knowing.
What the fuck? Like, I mean, I'm glad we're not in this situation, but it's like if it ever arises, it's kind of like holy like everyone would have to come together. Like this is kind of like I wish they would have shown the
on the
prequel
ground.
kind of to this, or like kind of the everyone realizing like, well, I mean,
got to imagine it was apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Like I got to imagine that there's like kind of
Mm.
chaos on Earth.
That's true. Yeah. Well, it seems like they have families back at home. They're sending messages to them, and like they
True.
have that little wallet that's like teched up that has the message in there or whatever.
I guess it wouldn't.
Um,
It could. I would be willing to bet that when the sun immediately dimmed, it was pretty
ah,
chaotic. You know.
yes. Yeah.
Now that
that's
we're
true.
8 to 10 years removed from that, because I imagine they didn't immediately build like they didn't have Icarus ready. You know, it's been 7 years since Icarus went offline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, let's say I mean, shit. All reality, that would probably take fucking 10 years at least to build. But
Oh yeah, that's
let's
true. I
pretend
wonder
it
when they
was.
said the sun start, like when they knew about the problem. Whenever, like that they knew the
About,
sun was dimming, or
about
when
8 minutes after it went out.
that's
Am I right?
I guess like it did just half. I guess it got just half as dim, and then like and then the planet just started getting cold as fuck, and then like it
Yeah.
was, yeah. I guess it was just a moment that they knew, but like year wise, when
I don't
that
know. Maybe it
happened.
has been a gradual dimming. Maybe it has just slowly been going down and down and down and down. Like it is burning out, not like one day it was half as bright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess I don't know. Maybe by 2057 they have I don't know built ways of building things way faster. I don't know or some
Right.
shit where like it could have been a fast sort of thing. But I mean
Yeah,
the
and
whole
obviously
planet was
we're digging into the specifics
yeah.
quite a fucking bit.
I mean it was snow
but
everywhere though. I mean there
yeah,
was
I mean
yeah
it was
where
it
we
was
were in
frozen,
Australia I
frozen.
think. Right? There was the Sydney Opera House and then I don't know what
Oh yeah,
stone or some I don't know. It was like I thought it was Stonehenge at first. I'm like, is that Stonehenge? And then I see the Sydney Opera House and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
no.
I'm like, that's not Stonehenge
You're like,
or
math
that's
ain't
not the
math in
Opera House.
here.
Yeah, it's like something's not going right. Or the Earth just fucking I don't know folded because it got so cold. But yeah, that was at least a nice way to end it. Give the little bit of it's
It was
hopefully
a
all that
success. It
snow's
was
gonna melt. I
like
don't know, and things will just go back to normal. I don't know, but it's unknown. It is more unknown, which
no, but
is
the humans will live. You know, like
mm-hmm.
and that's why I do think it's a gradual dimming. I doubt it was a sudden thing. Like it's only going to get worse if they don't fix it. I think is what they're like. It's not just like half dimmed and that's how it's going to stay.
Yeah.
You know, if that was the case, they'd probably adjust to that ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
It probably is slowly dimming away, and one day it will burn out. They need to reignite it, or else it'll die.
If Australia's covered in that looked like 20 feet of snow. I mean
it was a lot of snow.
Yeah, and if Australia's like that, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna need
We're
something.
all fucked.
Yeah, but no, it was like there was nothing like science or like I don't know. Everything was just kind of they're on this mission. Like nothing was so out there that I was like, oh, whoa, that's kind of weird. But then I guess the only thing that caught me off guard was the scale of the final room they were in. Whenever that
is kind of
is that also because they're getting so close to the sun and like they do say that like when you get so close that
reality
time
will
and
be
space
distorted
and
yeah.
everything warps and stuff. And I wonder that's what I was wondering. I'm like, is this part of the ship, like is this right behind the shield sort of thing? So like I forgot what part of the ship was going into the sun, but like I guess it would have been the shield, right? Or like it
would be the
just
shield. It has
first?
to be the shield. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the shield is fucking massive, and like I think like
that's why I'm like I think we don't get a sense of how big the ship is until we're in that room. You know what I'm saying?
Well, whenever they're replacing the sun shields at the end, and they're just on the very, very fucking edge. Like, I mean, they like. Luckily, it was barely. It was he said it was like 300 or 400 meters in that they had to go.
Right.
But they were like that was nothing compared to like the actual distance to the center. So like I don't know.
That's
maybe
true.
Maybe it was just that big. Like actually.
Yeah, that's why I'm like I think it's just impossible to show the scale of this thing until we're in that room. You know, like
Yeah. I don't know why it reminded me of something. I don't think I've seen this movie, but I think it's like there's a like the room. It's either The Room, no, not The Room with Tommy, not that. The Cube, or maybe it is The Room, but not the Tommy Wiseau room, or is that? No, oh man, I don't know. It's like this where they go from like square room to square room, and each one is like a different death trial sort of thing. And oh man,
Is
yeah,
it
I
like the
don't.
platform? Like there's a fucking thing in the middle?
That's in food kind of comes up it, and depending on what floor you're on, I feel like that's a different. This, I guess
That's
what.
a Black Mirror episode.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, no, I guess this one, what I'm thinking of, I think might just be called Cube. That was released in 1977. I haven't seen it, but I think
Oh.
I've watched like a YouTube video on it. And the look
That's older
of
than
this.
I was going. That'd be sick. I'll have to check that. But yeah, it kind of reminds me also of the Mines of Moria in the Fellowship of the Ring. The big ass cave that they go into.
Yeah.
That's like the scale is. I mean, the Hall of Faces in Game of Thrones. It
Ooh,
kind of reminds me of
yeah.
that too. There's a little just kind of that never ending vibe where you're like, whoa, how big? How much do you got going on here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this I don't know. It was at least it just kept building and building, and that end it was kind of it got out there at least of what I thought the movie was at the beginning, but like it was never so out there that I'm like, okay, what are we doing now? Like it was just
Yeah, no,
no,
for
like
sure.
it was I mean, I didn't expect to actually like Pinback, like the performance of him so much, but it's obvious now that I'm thinking of it, of like it's so like it was the point of the movie where I'm like, oh fuck yes, like wait, we're getting this now too, and like this is what
Yeah.
we're doing, and then just I don't know, he was just so unhit, like I don't his monologues that he kept going on, and just the I did love the
His righteous
blurriness
fury.
oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, it was sick. So yeah, I don't know, the it everything sucked. That's right. Like everything went wrong. That except for the very very end. But it
Right.
was I don't know. Overall, I'm having a great time watching everything go wrong. I guess and yeah, it's I don't know movies. Why do we just want to watch a train wreck? It's just you can't take your eyes off of it. I don't know. Maybe they are going for something meta there with looking at a TV and um it's not the sun. It's
Staring at
not
the
like
sun.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really the themes aren't really there. I don't think of we're are we mindless? We turn into fucking pinbacker by watching too many movies. Yeah, I don't think that's what they're saying.
No, I
That's
don't think so either.
yeah. So but no, at least what we got in the actual no fourth wall breaky, no meta talk here. Just the actual movie itself. No,
No, yeah, not
was very
particularly.
surprised. I
But
didn't think it would be as like Pacific Rim and AI. This one's like
no, it's I
number
like it
one.
more than both of those.
It's like yeah, it's which is
I'm
crazy.
going to guess. I have not watched Tron or Looper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I got a
I'm
feeling it's my
interested to
number
see
one
where
of the
Tron
month.
will go. I think this will stay number one. I have no idea about Looper. I have no read on that. But Tron,
I mean, it is Ryan Johnson. Don't sleep on the
ooh,
man's.
okay,
Like that's
okay.
one that I might come away from going. Wait a second. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I love this movie, man, and I am confident that it's my favorite of the sci-fi month so far.
Yeah.
Um,
No, a good
I've enjoyed each movie a great deal, and I anticipate enjoying each of the next two a great deal as well. But I do believe that
Mm-hmm.
we can go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. I don't have much else to say,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll do the plugs. If you would, leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening and download. We'll be back again on Friday for Joseph's birthday. We'll be
Yeah.
celebrating with Tron. I'm very, very excited for that. We already covered Tron Legacy. If you scroll to the very bottom of our feed, it is our first episode, Tron Legacy. So we're going to be covering the prequel, or the actual
Yes. The OG.
the actual origin, the OG. But yeah, so we got that coming this Friday. We are also doing a Twin Peaks podcast currently. It's called Fire Pod with Me, a Twin Peaks podcast, and we are on episode 4, I believe. Yes, I am correct. We are halfway through season 1 as of today. We are having a great deal of fun. That show is doing extremely well. If you have never watched Twin Peaks, it's good for you. If you have watched Twin Peaks, it's good for you because I have watched Twin Peaks. Joe has not, and we are chipping away every week at the mystery of who killed Laura Palmer, and I get to listen to Joe either get it wildly right or wildly wrong at any given moment. It's a lot of fun. So you do got to check that out. Friendly, the first-time watcher and rewatcher alike. So check that out. Fire Pod with me. Again, leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. But yeah, let's go ahead and rate this episode, or rate this movie, I should say. How are we feeling on a scale of 1 to 10 about Sunshine?
AI and Pacific Rim, those came out to an 8, and I'm comfortably above those two. So, I mean, was that a 9?
I'm a whole point above that one.
Yeah, I thought I heard you say it, maybe, or maybe that was just my own brain telling me.
No, I went when you said 8. I was like, no, like it's higher than that. It's
I
just,
heard 9 and 9. I don't know, a 9 flat, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Do we have any 9 flats? We have 9 5s. We have 9 5. 9 2 5 was the 2 towers. That's the lowest 9 that we have. So never just a 9 flat yet. But
I think this is a good place to start for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, regardless, I'm gonna give it a 9. I think that it's a. I almost considered upping my rating on Letterboxd to a full 5-star, which I've been very lean. I've been much more stringent about. But the fact that I had to think about it means that it's not.
That's true.
You know, like that's kind of how I look at it. You know, if I have to go, ooh, should I? I shouldn't. That's how I look at that rating.
Yeah, ever since that switch, I don't think I have given out a 5. I watched Tron Legacy, recently. I had a rewatch of that, so that it's a 5 for me. But that's not like I don't know. I want a new viewing 5. That
it's been a little bit for you, huh?
For the new viewing 5.
I had a lot of first viewing 5s in January. I did a lot more first viewings in January, though. In February, I only had one first viewing 5-star, and it was Sing Sing from last year with Coleman Domingo. Love that movie.
Man.
But that was it. That is the only one. Yeah. It's been a while since I've had a 1 5-star first viewing. We'll see how that goes in March here. But yeah, I don't know. I've had a great time doing this project. I'm comfortable with this at a 9 out of 10. It wasn't quite that 5-star for me, but it's a great movie, dude.
A sleeper, an absolute I don't know. I can't believe I haven't heard of it until now, but definitely one I'm keeping in the back pocket of random sci-fi movies to recommend to people because I guarantee no one's seen it. I don't know, it'd be, I don't know, if I find someone who has. That's I feel like that's just
they're your people. Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't expect it to be the number 1 out of the ones we've seen so far. But yeah, definitely.
Happy feckin' St. Patrick's Day, baby.
Hell yeah, Killian. I get you. You're fucking a hard ass Irish worker, dude. 28 Days Later is another. I haven't seen that. It's another kind of sci-fi that a different.
Yeah, you got a horror angle there though. So I've already been conceptualizing some sort of horror project again for October, and sci-fi horror is a fruitful genre.
Yeah.
Might be one to consider. A lot of my favorite sci-fi movies can be categorized as horror movies. Alien, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just that vein. There's a lot to go on there. So something to keep in the back pocket. Something to consider. Maybe 28 Days Later can plop in somewhere there. But yeah, I think with that, at a 9 out of 10, we can conclude our episode on Sunshine. We'll be back on Friday with Tron and next Friday with Looper. Yeah. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And remember, every time I shut my eyes, it's always the same.